This is the end. The final game that I played in Total War Rome 2, and what a way to sign off. This is this is game 2 of the finals of Maximus's Exploit Flash tournament, and as you can see, I have taken a very meta build. This is a Tillis slash Boyai combo that also formed the that also had the meta formation, meta build with the meta formation. Um, all infantry, because this is game 2 of the finals. This could possibly be the last game in the tournament. And what what a way, or what a couple of factions to pick. Boei slash Tylus. And then, the formation was meta. Uh, this is no cav build, all infantry, of course, since I'm sticking to being as meta as possible. And what a surprise, even Achilles has gone with an all infantry build. With Tillis, I have brought a total of 4, I think. No, 2 Oathsworn, and then a total of 6 sword followers and 6 tribal warriors, and a couple of Thracian warriors as well, and a couple of tribal Celtic warriors. So 2 Thracian warriors and 2 Celtic warriors, I think, and just like 2 Levy Freemen. Meanwhile, Achilles has brought a total of 6 MLG Freemen. He has brought only a single Oathsworn, and let's see, 1, 2, just 3, 4, 5, 6. I think he's brought 6, 6 sword followers and 6 tribal warriors. So I've gone a bit heavier on the Oathsworn. He has gone a lot heavier on the mid-tier infantry. And but I don't know. I don't think anything can stop the meta build, especially when when I unlock that cheat code by by forming my units in literally a huge meta sign. So I don't think anything can stop this freight train. Let's go ahead and put this in super speed for now. Yeah, this as you can see by the timer, this game takes a while. If it's an infantry on infantry rush, then it's just gonna take too much time. And in response to my meta claims, a bit of clan pride showed here by Achilles, but this was actually a massive fail because even though he's from the Agni clan, he failed to he made a huge typo basically. It should be AGGONY and he goes AGONNY. So well played there, Achilles. Very well played. So we're just forming up after these two after the peacocking by both the players. Maximus and Prussian Prince were both commentating on this game. Were basically begging for us to go with go with a 3v3 Levy Freeman on Levy Freeman just to see who MLGs better basically. So we both say yes, no problem. And the start of this battle was going to be Levy Freeman on Levy Freeman action. So yeah, it's just a very straightforward charge so far, at least from my side. And we planned on this to be a 3v3, and here Achilles just pulls a fast one on me, gets a second charge with his other Levy Freeman, pulls back with the other one, and now it's a 4v3. And now he's pulling back with the other Levy Freeman and trying to charge in with the tribal warrior, so I'm forced to pull back with my Levy Freeman. Just so much Levy Freeman action going on. Decide to countercharge again now that he's pulled back with his tribal warriors. And all in all, the Levy Freeman fight is not going well for me. I think that's a prelude to how this game might go. Would it? Maybe? We don't know. You have to stay tuned for the next 10 minutes to see. So all while he's doing these little MLG tactics, I'm going for a more macro approach, moving around with a couple of my Celtic warriors. They're already at the extreme flanks. I don't need to worry about cavalry catching them because he has none. And then also moving with a couple of my Thracian warriors. I brought a total of 4 Thracian warriors, by the way. And my Levy Freemen here are dying. He's charging in with some of his extra Levy Freemen, getting a great javelin volley on my sword followers. And I turn off Fire at Will after, this little micro mistake. Because, there's no point. That's exactly what he wants me to do. He wants me to waste my javelins on his Levy Freeman. And while they're going to rear charge this Levy Freeman, I'm going to go ahead and charge with my sword followers. But not a great decision by me because I'm going to waste their very powerful charge that way. And then he can come in with his tribal warriors who will do a much better job at supporting. So now what I'm going to do is just charge in with 1 sword follower against a mix of tribal warriors and Levy Freeman. But he pulls back with them. Very smart move. But all the while, I am, of course, going with the more macro approach and then just getting my Celtic Warriors into more advantageous positions. So now the Levy Freemen are starting to waver. That is, of course, the first step that must be followed in any barbarian versus barbarian engagement. He's supporting with his tribal warriors here. I'm supporting with my sword followers. And pulling back with my Celtic warriors here because he was bringing one of his sword followers there. Now what I'm trying to do is get a pincer movement attack or a pincer attack here with one of my Thracian and one of my Celtic warriors. Let's see if that pans out here. Meanwhile, I think I didn't get a charge on his sword followers. I set my tribal warriors on an attack order on his sword followers, hoping that I could, again, just trap them with one of my Celtic warriors. Meanwhile, here he's going to use his Levy Freeman to absorb the charge of my Thracian warriors. They took a lot of damage from those precursor javelins. But there again, I've got another Thracian warrior that's ready to follow up against that tribal warrior. Pulling back with one of my sword followers here. Meanwhile, the other tribal warrior is attacking just the same tribal warriors there. And my Oathsworn really haven't come into the action so far. I'm just trying to maneuver my units. I can be patient here. It's more about being patient in this game because again, there's no cavalry, so it's all about slow movements and who gets the better engagements that way. Thracian warriors here not doing well against his tribal warriors, but I managed to get some rear attacks in with my Celtic warriors. And here I'm going to charge in with my Oathsworn against his tribal warriors because my sword followers over there are starting to die. Still got my general on the far side, completely unhindered. And here I've managed to isolate one of his sword followers and then charge in with one of my Thracian warriors, and they're going to lose a lot of men very quickly, and especially with the Celtic warrior they're supporting. Pulling back with my Thracian warriors because he turned on shield wall, and that means his units can't support. And I've left one of my Celtic warriors there in support. Turning on shield wall on one of my tribal warriors here. My other tribal warrior basically destroying his Levy Freeman. He's moving through the gaps with his Oathsworn general, and if he can get a rear charge here, that would be very, very good. Doesn't look like that's what he wants to do. He's instead going to get a charge here against my rear charge against my other Oathsworn, but it looks like they've been caught. My general's still not in the action. Pulling back with one of my tribal warriors because they rear charged, and then getting a second charge in with the other tribal warrior. These are the little things in these games that help you win battles. Of course, Achilles did a lot of that so far. Pulling back with my Celtic warriors here, letting my Thracian warriors still deal some damage against his sword followers, and then choosing to attack these units instead because that sword follower is isolated, and then I can use my general to just kill them off, which I'm going to do now. So Oathsworn here in shield wall, so are my tribal warriors, and Thracian warriors here, they got charged at by his tribal warriors, so they will not do well. All in all, it's just too close to tell at this point. I've managed to kill off most of his units on my left flank, but my right flank is sort of crumbling, although I do have this Oathsworn over there that's going to be able to hold out for a bit. But they did get rear charged by his Oathsworn, which means they're going to start crumbling pretty soon. And of course, he's got this tribal warrior that can, again, either rear charge here or rear charge here. It looks like he's just going to concentrate and gang up and kill off my Oathsworn, which is a smart move. Here, his tribal warriors are going to get charged at by my Oathsworn. Managed to kill off his sword followers. No, they still have like 47 units left. They're going to charge at my Celtic warriors, and then they'll get caught. And then my sword followers will get a rear charge on them, so they're basically destroyed. Managed to destroy his center because tribal warriors very good at holding out, and then getting a charge in with these tribal warriors on his tribal warriors. Again, going to be a stalemate there. And then I need to use this tribal warrior to start charging in. If they get charged at, they're going to get charged at by his general, which is going to be really bad. Are they? Yeah, they're going to get charged at. Yeah, I set the charge order way too late. His sword followers, meanwhile, are wavering, and they're going to be destroyed. My Oathsworn general popped second wind and headhunt. Headhunt and battle rhythm, and now immediately popped second wind. So their combat capabilities is maximized. His sword followers is doing pretty well here against mine. Pulling back with these units because he's used shield wall. And that's basically this entire game, just figuring out who uses shield wall and then pulling back your units as quickly as possible and then getting a second charge with them. Rear charging with tribal warriors against his tribal warriors who are in shield wall again. And they're starting to waver, of course, because they don't have the greatest morale. Here, these tribal warriors, they're starting to lose, but they will take a long time if they don't get rear charge, they'll take a long time dying because, of course, they have very good armor, very good health. 102 armor on shield wall. That's just brilliant. Here, charging in with my sword follower is against his, and I have my basically full strength Oathsworn who's done very well. That's getting close to his Oathsworn, who've also done pretty decently, but I've taken a lot of casualties as well. All in all, it doesn't look like it's going to go in Achilles' favor, mainly because I managed to get consecutive charges with my units, and he managed to do that as well. But I don't think he. I think the fact that he isolated one of his sword followers over there and just didn't get as many, didn't pull out his units when my units were in shield wall, like this example right here. Were like small turning points that collectively kind of like influence the battle. You can see just a rear charge from a sword follower is just so deadly. They've gotten 237 kills and a double experience chevron so far. And my Oathsworn over there died. His Oathsworn in the process is just pretty depleted at this point. And now I have two units here that's going to deal with one Oathsworn there. But this sword follower here with the double chevron doing pretty well, going to destroy my sword followers there. That's why I've got this Celtic warrior here. Last ditch effort to just try and charge into them so that they don't rear charge my general. Meanwhile, that rear charge from my sword follower proved to be quite effective. They still have 66 units left and killed off a lot of his units. My tribal warriors here, though, they're starting to waver and holding out, charging in with one of my sword followers here, then pulling around and then rear charging with the other sword follower there. Tribal warriors here still managing to hold off, just doing brilliantly there. This Celtic warrior here obviously is starting to waver, but my general has gotten into the action here, and they'll do very well now because they're up against very weakened sword followers. And again, getting a rear charge here with my tribal warriors, he's following up with his sword followers. And this sword follower, I'm forced to just keep pulling out because when you have a unit charging into the rear, you can very easily pull out without them taking a lot of casualties. And then what I'm going to do is just charge into this. So it's just one rear charge after another. His units rear charging me, and then I'm going to counter rear charge with mine. My general is basically surrounded at this point, and they're taking a lot of casualties. But his units are starting to waver here. 26 units left on his sword followers, but their high morale is really going to come into play. His Oathsworn has done very well. I've popped a second headhunt battle rhythm and shield wall on my unit. And look at that kill count is going to start rising very quickly. He's popped shield wall, and that gives me a huge opportunity to pull out with my general. And even though they have headhunt now, you might be questioning why I should do this. Even if they have even if I might lose headhunt in the process, getting a second charge with that 35 charge bonus is just going to be so precious. So 162 kills, 163, 4, 5, 6. This is against an Oathsworn, by the way, his Oathsworn general. Meanwhile, my sword followers are starting to waver here. He's popped second win on his sword follower unit for some reason because his Oathsworn was fresh already. So yeah, that's a smart move. But my sword follower here, I've popped them onto shield wall, and his general has recently died, which is basically a decisive blow. And that means his sword followers are in red morale. They are shaken, and when they're going to be pulling out, I'm going to turn off. I should turn off. Yeah, I've turned off shield wall, and then charge into his units. And getting a rear charge is going to be pretty decisive. But then my tribal warriors here are also wavering, so it's just so close. But his general is starting to waver here, and I think it's going to be a bit too much. My general still has 59 men, and I got a rear charge with my sword followers. But my general recently died as well, so. And he's popped headhunt, so that means his units have unbreakable morale if they manage to get through the initial phase, but they didn't, and that is basically it. So if he managed to pop headhunt like 10 seconds earlier, this would have been so much closer. He probably could have won, but he unfortunately headhunt was popped too late, and his sword followers are basically ganged up on by my Oathsworn and by my sword followers here, and there's just too few of them left. And my Oathsworn are just going to beast through this. So I'm not going to fast forward. I'm going to just put this into. This is the last stand between these two units. Costly victory to me, and this was like a tired. It was a match of attrition basically. It was like who can keep their attention up for the longest period of time, because including lag and stuff, this was probably like a 25-minute battle. But very, very fun. I don't know. I mean, I just find these types of games very fun. The sword followers did very well. They did decently. Thracian warriors, for the most part, were kind of a disappointment. But my Oathsworn general did amazing. One of my Celtic Warriors did decently too. For him, the fact that he went so mid tier heavy basically proved to be, not the smartest move, I guess. That being said, his Levi Freeman did very well, and his tribal warriors just didn't stand the impact of my Oathsworn and just getting consecutively charged at by and rear charged at by many units. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for more. Peace.